What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. It's really rainy and kind of chilly today. Didn't feel like doing anything out of doors, so I've been looking at my corner bookshelf and it's been overflowing for quite some time and things are kind of almost falling off the shelf. So I thought I would make use of some of my dresser space. I don't really have a lot to decorate it with. I've got a couple of like recycled jars that I've put some dried flowers in, that sort of thing. I've also been meaning to hang this sign for literally months. It's this really cool wooden sign from Earthbound Trading Company. I think that's where my parents said they got it for me. They literally bought it for me when I moved into this apartment. That was in December. It's now April. Now that I feel like I've taken good advantage of the dresser space, I'm going to move on to the actual bookshelf. So this is a recycled bookshelf. I think my mom originally took this off of one of her work friends. They were moving or something, having an estate sale, and so she picked it up off of her, and then eventually when she didn't want it anymore, she offered it to me. It's got 5 tiers, the skinniest at the top and then the fattest at the bottom. I always have kind of organized these books by color. They're a little bit color-coded, I guess. And I'm gonna kind of keep that theme going as I reorganize, except I'm gonna clear up a little bit more space on each shelf. So there's no real rhyme or reason here other than, like I said earlier, by color. I'm just making sure it doesn't look too cluttered. I want to display this cool Fujifilm camera that my boyfriend bought me. That's mean. I want to display this cool Fujifilm camera that my boyfriend bought me. I just smacked him. For either Christmas or my birthday, I don't remember. So I didn't have space before on the shelves to actually display anything. Also, a really cute picture of Guillermo that I just took with it, with this tiny little frame that I got. I've had that for years. I just had a different picture in it. I feel like we needed to spice things up, change it up a little bit. So it's time for the final reveal. I noticed I had the fewest yellow books, so they're at the top. Pinks, oranges, reds, blues at the bottom. So a sort of rainbow. What's up, guys? So it's been a couple of days, so I thought I would sit down and do the book haul part of the video. I just got home from work, went to the mailbox post office area at my apartment complex, and the books were all there, so I'm very excited to get into them. I remember everything that I bought except one thing because I bought it so impulsively. It's like blanking in my mind right now, so that's going to be a surprise for both of us. So let's just get into it. I got this giant little Amazon bag. I normally like to thrift. That's my favorite way of buying books because I know I'm saving so much money, and I did get one. So this is the one I ordered off of eBay, but yes, the other ones, for whatever reason, I couldn't find them on eBay that were like decently priced. I don't remember what the deal was, but anyway, let's get into it. First book is, yes, Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. May totally be saying her name wrong, not really sure. This has been on my TBR for quite some time, for years, I think, basically since it came out. It's less than 200 pages, so I could probably rip through that in like a weekend. I have heard mixed reviews on this, but I didn't want that to keep me from buying it because you never know. Sometimes it's like everybody hates a book and then you really love it. So yeah, it came out in 2016, I assume in Japanese. because it says it sold more than 1 million copies in Japan, and then the English translation came out in 2018. So if you've never heard of Convenience Store Woman, it says it's the charming and unforgettable story of Tokyo sales clerk Kiko Furukura. Kiko is an unusual person, someone who has never fit in. But when she takes a job at a Smile Mart, she finds peace and purpose in her daily tasks. But there's huge pressure on Kiko to pursue a career, to find a husband, and she feels forced to take desperate action in order to please the people around her instead of herself. Is there room in this normal world for someone as strange as Kiko? So I think part of the reason that compelled me to purchase this was because, and there's sushi on the front. Okay, I know I've noticed that before. I had sushi last night. It's like one of my favorite things. Anyway, one of the things that compelled me to buy this was that notion of like not feeling like you fit in, or like the world is one way and you don't really fit into the parameters of society, this, you know, the norms that we've created. I feel like everybody has felt like that or does feel like that in some way. So yes, definitely pumped for this. Like I said, I could probably rip through it in a weekend, so you'll probably see it in a, I don't know, probably like my May wrap up. We'll see. Next, I feel like, what is that? Mary Poppins, like her purse, like where you like. Okay, next up is When God Was a Woman by Merlin Stone. This has also been on my TBR for a while. I think this came to me in the most random way. The Pinterest algorithm, like this was one that popped up on my feed because I'm saving books on there all the time. This is one that Pinterest recommended me. I've been reading mostly books by and about women recently. I feel like that's just, I don't know, I've gravitated towards them naturally, or maybe it's just a coincidence, but this definitely feels like it's gonna fall into that category. The blurb says, here is an invitation to discover a past that has been buried by millennia of Judeo-Christian myth and corresponding social order. Merlin Stone tells us in fascinating detail the story of the goddess, who known by names such as Astarte, could be saying that wrong, Isis and Ishtar, reigned supreme in the Near and Middle East. There she was revered as the wise creator and the one source of universal order, not simply as a fertility symbol as some histories would have us believe. And under the goddess, societal roles differed markedly from those in patriarchal Judeo-Christian cultures. Women bought and sold property, traded in the marketplace, and inherited title and land from their mothers. How did the shift from matriarchy to patriarchy come about? By documenting the wholesale rewriting of myth and religious dogmas, Merlin Stone describes an ancient conspiracy in which the goddess was reimagined as a wanton, depraved figure, a characterization confirmed and perpetuated by one of modern culture's best-known legends, that of Adam and the fallen Eve. This will be very interesting to kind of see what she proposes, what arguments she makes. We'll see how I get on with this. I'm excited for that. Then lastly, from Amazon, oh yes, this is the one that I couldn't picture. I knew there was one that I had bought so impulsively, I was like, I literally couldn't even tell you the name of it. It is A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. It was the cover that did it for me. Well, okay, so I finished buying those things, completed my order, and then just happened to scroll down, just flick down on my screen, and saw this. It was the like, customers also bought, you might like recommendation tab or whatever, and clicked on it because of the cover, and then read the blurb, and I was like, okay, I have to get that. So I just added it to my order real quick. It says, food writer Dorothy Daniels loves what she does. Discerning, meticulous, and very, very smart, Dorothy's clear mastery of the culinary arts makes it likely that she could, on any given night, whip up a more inspired dish than any one of the chefs she writes about. Dorothy loves sex as much as she loves food, and while she's struggled to find a long-term partner that can keep up with her, she makes the best of her single life, frequently traveling from Manhattan to Italy for a taste of both. But there is something within Dorothy that's different from everyone else, and having suppressed it long enough, she starts to embrace what makes Dorothy uniquely, terrifyingly herself. Recounting her life from a seemingly idyllic farm-to-table childhood, the heights of her career to the moment she plunges an ice pick into a man's neck on Fire Island, Dorothy Daniels shows us what happens when a woman finally embraces her superiority. So I think it was that like food and sex mixture that I was like, okay, I'm interested. And then also the mention of Italy, because I was just telling my boyfriend this last weekend. We were watching those films. They're the only romance films really that I'll watch, the Before Sunrise trilogy, and it's this gorgeous, like, real-time love story. It's 3 films. All 3 of them are just like a rambling conversation, and you're watching this relationship between 2 people unfold. It's absolutely gorgeous. They're by Richard Linklater. He did the Dazed and Confused and plenty of other amazing films, but they take place in like European countries. Like the first one, they're in Vienna or maybe Paris. I'm just so intoxicated by like European culture and the architecture and the food and all of it. So I was just telling my boyfriend, this summer especially, like all my summer reading, I want it to be kind of like a European vibe, and this mentioned Italy, so that was one of the reasons why I had to get it. But yes, very excited for this. There have been some reviews for this, and there were some people who said that they were pretty grossed out and pretty disgusted, and I have a pretty strong stomach. I like gore to an extent. Like I don't mind it. I watch like The Walking Dead and stuff, and I read Chuck Palahniuk. If you guys know, you know, he's pretty gross sometimes. So I feel like I'm gonna love it, and it's gorgeous, so very excited for this. And last one, I don't actually remember what this one is. Ah, yes. Okay, this one's fine to show because I don't think my mom watches my channel. This is not one that I'm going to be reading. My mom is obsessed with Harlan Coben. This is actually gonna be a Mother's Day gift. It's called The Match. This is not one I will be reading, but it's like the second in a series or something. He's really good. She likes him. He does like thriller mysteries. So if that's up your alley, you might like this. There was one that came before. 5 of his books have been developed into Netflix original series. Okay, that's actually really impressive. Anyway, bought that one. So that's everything. This is the end of the video. I'm gonna put these books up now and probably go read and eat some pizza. I hope you guys have an awesome day, evening, night, whatever the case may be, and I'll see you next time. Bye.